All right, Shalom. Want to start by saying, HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, KAKADASH. Double honors to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love always to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, so I came across this article, I think that was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. I think that was Tuesday. So I came across this article yesterday, random, algorithm shit, and it's an article from Etias.com. Now, Etias.com is basically, I think it's European, transportation or travel, no, I think it's European traveling something authorization something. All right. So basically it goes into traveling in Europe, the issue of traveling in Europe. So I have this AI overview, and it's basically talking about this new digital system they put in play, which is the EES, which I have over there, entry exit system, EES, and it's the EU's new digital system, entry slash exit system, EES, which began rolling out in October 2025. Identified over 4,000 travelers who overstayed the 90-day limit within the Schengen area during its first 4 months. Now, I guess this is a little thing they got where however long you're supposed to stay somewhere and you overstayed. According to ETIAS.com or ETIAS.com, it said the system processed 17 million travelers with roughly 16,000 total refusals of entry recorded. It said the 4,000 flagged overstays represent a direct result of the new automated biometric tracking of non-EU citizens, replacing manual, less accurate passport stamps. So basically, that's like they trying to pick and choose who's in the area, man. And that's also, and what is that evidently leading to? The MOTB, this is the beast system. And actually, the EU is the beast pertaining to Revelation, the 17th chapter. That's actually the EU. So now you have the EU, the beast, bringing in the beast system. Makes perfect sense. It said the ETIAS.com reports that approximately 25% of all refusal of entry cases are now linked to these overstaying flags. The EES entry-exit system captures biometrics, facial scan, fingerprints, making it easier to detect individuals who stay in the Schengen zone longer than 90 out of 180 days. Beyond overstays, the system is designed to detect fraudulent documents, identity mismatches, and individuals attempting to use multiple passports. See that? The beast is bringing in the beast system. I think I might change the title to that. It says the system is operational at the external borders of the Schengen area, including countries like France, Spain, with full operational status expected by April 2026, which is coming up. And I'm assuming that's pretty much let me just go to the article. Okay, now I asked you a little more. So this is from the ETIAS.com. I think that's an acronym. This is from March 24th. Yeah, because I seen it yesterday. So the entry-exit system, which began rolling out in October 2025, I said the same stuff, so let me jump down to this. So, over 4,000 overstaying travelers. Now, this is the EU entry-exit system. The European Commission confirmed that more than 4,000 overstayers were identified during the system's first months in operation. Excuse me. Henrik Nielsen, a European Commission official, disclosed the figure during a February briefing to members of the European Parliament. The system has processed around 17 million travelers and recorded 30 million border crossings in in its first 4 months. It has also logged about 16,000 refusals of entries. Nielsen noted that roughly a quarter of those refusals were linked to individuals flagged as overstaying within the Schengen area. The EES replaces traditional passport stamping with a centralized digital system that records entries and exits automatically. So now you have this centralized digital system, which goes into what? What is that evidently leading to? Hold up. Not only is it pertaining to Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse, and the 17th verse, but it's also pertaining, but what is also that implying he's going to do once he brings out the beast system and the mark of the beast? It's going to imply that he's going to try to be like the Most High. He's trying to be like the Most High because the Most High said what? Let me get the scripture. Oops. Psalms 33:13. This is Psalm chapter 33, verse 13, and it reads, "The Lord looketh from heaven, he beholdeth all the sons of men." Verse 14, it says, "From the place of his habitation, which is the heavens, he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth." And that's what Esau trying to do. That's why I say he's trying to be like the Most High. You not gonna be able to do. You're not gonna be able to be. You can't be like the Most High, Esau. First off, the Lord hates you. The Lord didn't even make his chosen people like him. Like as far as they could just to see everybody. What you're trying to do. Like you try to have your census. You have your census and you're counting the population and numbering people. All things that the Lord said you're not supposed to do. But hold up. Oh, I still got a little juice. I'm gonna read that in the NLT. Psalms chapter. I'm in Psalms already. So this is Psalm chapter 33, verse 13. In the NLT, it reads, "The Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, looks down from heaven and sees the whole human race." And that's what Esau trying to do. He's trying to be able to see the whole human race. He wants to be able to keep track of every inhabitant on the earth. And hence he's trying to be like the Most High. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 8. Matter of fact, what's it say in the NLT? Yes, I'm reading that again. So Psalm chapter 33, verse 13 in the NLT, it says, "The Lord looks down from heaven and sees the whole human race." Doesn't that sound like what he's trying to do with his micro C-hips, his digital system, his facial recognition, fingerprint scans? It's exactly what the Lord, but these are all things of the earth. The Lord has that power because he is the power. Everything you do, you need electricity first and foremost. You need a power source to get anything what you got going on. All right, hold up. Isaiah 47 and 8. What does that say in the NLT? Nah, I think I like that in King James, but I'm gonna read the both. Hold up. Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 8, and just the King James, but I'm reading the NLT as well. It says, "Now Babylon," now you go into Babylon, the 47th chapter, when you go into Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and they talk about Babylon or the daughter of Babylon, virgin daughter of Babylon, that's referring to America. There's plenty of breakdowns on it, you know what I'm saying? Look it up, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to be like that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, to be short with it. You know what I'm saying? To those that maybe not know or understand. Because when you go into Babylon the Great, the virgin whore, which is pertaining to this chapter, Isaiah 47, and in Revelation, when you go into the descriptions of it, it describes America to a T. All the nations were drunken off her. It was in Esau's kingdom, and most importantly, this devil and in this world, this kingdom, is where the prophecy of the mark of the beast comes to pass. where it talks about Esau at the end of the world, Jacob's beginning of it that followeth, and second Esdras, the 6th chapter. That Esau's ruling right now. And no other time in history did Esau rule or did any other kingdom have some mark of the beast, have this kind of influence on the earth. I mean, you had Egypt, you had Rome and all that, but like, it's not the same as what America did, man. Especially with this technology and all of the evolutions of it. You know? No nation, no kingdom was where everybody just came and got rich and lived deliciously off of her. That was this time we're in right now. This short season, this is a certain part of the story. Remember, Esau, from the time of Genesis, was promised a kingdom, but his kingdom wasn't going to be an everlasting kingdom, and he was going to be the nation to rule last before Jacob got the kingdom back, before Jacob got the title back, before YAHAWASHI got the title back. Esau was the nation that was going to rule last after all the other heathens. That's why Esdras, when he says, for Esau at the end of the world and Jacob the beginning of it that followed. The kingdom of Jacob, going back to Genesis, where it talks about Esau and Jacob and the blessings and the birthright. It was given to Jacob, the world without end. Because why? YAHAWASHI is what? The star out of Jacob. The house of David are Israelites, the descendants of Jacob. That's who the covenanted bloodline is with. Only. And that's not, the Lord said he changed not, so the name changed. Even if it's somebody that don't look like a so-called black man, Hispanic man or woman, or Native American man or woman, Haitian woman, so on and so forth. If you're from the seed of Jacob, you're going to be in the kingdom ruling. Now, the remnant of Jacob are the ones like I said in a video prior, where it talked about in Lamentations, where it talked about the Lord is good to them that wait on him. Because only the elect, as of this moment, are waiting on the Lord. That's why because I'm waiting and I hope to be part of the elect, and I hope to see this through to the end. And the end is approaching very quickly. All right? You see how this kingdom is going down. That's the Babylon the Great going down. The Lord said it should be, Babylon is fallen. It is fallen. When you look at the state of America, from what it once was into what it is now, it's fallen and continuing to fall. And everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. All right? But yeah, so Isaiah chapter 47, I'm going to start verse 7. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Because what? And read up the couple verses, it talks about Babylon being exposed, and how she, pertaining to symbolic as a woman, how she was living in great pride. And that's what America, they were living in great pride. But now it's the end of the road for this place. Now everything's been exposed. You didn't get this right. You didn't do it the righteous way. But the Lord still gave you a kingdom to prove a point on what wickedness is, man, and what not to do when ruling. And remember, this story goes from the very beginning. This goes all the way back to Genesis. Esau, Jacob's brother, Isaac's sons, was set to have a kingdom, and we're in that time. So here it is. We're in this time, but the things playing out were written all the way in Genesis. That's why the Lord said, "What? I'm the Alpha and Omega." He declared the end from the beginning. So even before it even written on the page, the Lord already had this mapped out. All right. You consider the latter end of it. Verse 8. So Isaiah chapter 47, verse 8, and it said, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures. It's all talking to America, man. And America is part of whose kingdom? Esau, Edom. That's whose kingdom America is part of. And this is the major part of his kingdom. Another extension of the Roman Empire. Shit, you can say another extension of the Greek Empire, because they all transition from the same forefathers, same people, same descendants. But especially Rome, when it ties into the beast, the horn, the two horns, loose a little season. What else? Made the nation drunk. That didn't happen really in Rome or Greece. Yeah, they took over, but this part of their kingdom, this portion of it, This was the greatest of them all. This is where he actually had the nation deceived. All the earth was deceived by his sorceries and his deceptions. But now the Lord said, what? It's time for you to be exposed. Now nobody cares about your lies anymore. Nobody listens to your bullshit. I was just listening to watching the chick. I forget her name. But she would talk about the whole shit with Iran. And when you listen to her, it's like, yo, you're clearly lying. Talking some straight bullshit, man. And everybody's hip to you. Everybody's hip to your bullshit, Esau. And these elites, they still got their puppets still perpetrating the same fucking lies because they're so prideful of demons that they're not going to say, yeah, you know what, yeah, we foul, you know, we need to give it up, this, that, and the third. No. He said he didn't consider the latter end of it, man. He don't think he's going to go down. It said they think their houses shall continue forever. They think that when the war ends, America is still going to be left standing. Hell, all you other Edomite countries, Europe, Russia, y'all not going to be left standing either. When YAHAWASHI comes back, YAHAWASHI is coming to take back the earth which he have made. But America, the land of America, is going to be completely obliterated. But anyway, says in the heart, it says that dwelleth carelessly, and that's what America do. They dwell carelessly. Brother, just send me something. They was at some beach or whatever. I don't know what state they was in, but they was at some beach, and the dude was asking them stuff about, like, you know, what's going on in the world news, why Iran, so on and so forth. And these people are these youth, these college kids, I want to say they had to be like college students. They were completely oblivious to what's going on. You asked one of the chicks, you heard about something with the Ayatollah. Said, what's the Ayatollah? I never even heard that word before. That's the mentality of the youth of Babylon. So you know this place don't have much more time left. She that dwelleth carelessly, man. That's America to a T. This is the only place that dwelleth so fucking carelessly. Even out of all the other Edomite countries. This place, America, is where people dwell the most carelessly. That's why it pertains to Babylon the Great. Said, therefore, I'm reading again. So Isaiah chapter 47, verse 8, and it said, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. That's what these devils think. They're not going to experience no hardships. Here it is. They see in their country, this place, America, known as America, go down. All the signs are there. All the signs are shining bright. They're blinking. The end is speaking. But in their pride, they still gonna just think that they just gonna somehow, some way, they think that, you know, once this is all over, we're gonna regroup, we're gonna take back our country, and we're gonna make America great again. No, that time is past. That little season is past. Short season is past. You don't get no more. Your time is up. And that's a beautiful thing. So call all Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI for that. This ain't no, you don't get no redos. The Lord said you can't go past the bounds which he has set, man. And when these devils bring out that mark, that MOTB, oh, we know it's curtains, man. Truly, Babylon is fallen. It is fallen. Man, let me get that. Let me end off with that. Revelation. So there's the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And it says, at the start of the chapter, it says Babylon is fallen. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And I'm going to restart at the top. It says, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and it's become a habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Babylon is fallen. It is fallen. And once this place gets destroyed, once it truly falls, it's going to be a habitation for desert creatures. Oh, and here it gets good. Verse 3, and it says, for all nations, now mind you, at this time, this is John, the Revelator, and the island of Patmos in the time of the Roman Empire. So this wasn't talking about no kingdom prior. It was talking about a time in the future. And that future time was America, the whore, Babylon the Great. Simple. Well, not simple, but it's simple. But if the Lord opens your eyes and gives you understanding. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. They all got rich. They all lived deliciously with the whore, Babylon the Great. But now it's not too delicious anymore. And now the whore is talking back. Now the whore is talking smack. Now the whore is acting like she's some princess. Like she's not some used up, filthy slut. But now everything's being seen. You're being seen. You've aged, ma. You've aged, bitch. Now everybody see your wrinkle. You're an old whore. And now it's time for your demise. And now it's time. It said Babylon is the great is fallen. It is fallen. Past tense. Hence what the Lord said, I declared the end from the beginning. The Lord had it said it was fallen before it even was even established technically. Well, not technically, before it was actually established on earth. The Lord had it written that it was fallen. It is fallen. That's the beauty of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. That's the beauty of prophecy, man. And John didn't even really dig understand what he was writing at the time. But now through the spirit of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the Holy Spirit, now the understanding is here. We know that Babylon the Great is fallen. It is fallen. It's talking about this place known as the United States of America. Period. And it was over. The land of our captivity. The land where we shall remember ourselves. The thing that they thought that we weren't going to remember ourselves. They didn't consider the latter end of it. They didn't consider that we was going to wake up. But now we're awoken. And you can't take it back. You can't deceive no more. Anybody you deceive now is just a dumbass. All right? But that's pretty much it, though. So, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM Kagadash. Double honors to the Apostles of Israel, a.k.a. the Apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.